What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome back to MKO Boxing, aka MKO Pugilism, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube, follow on TikTok, all that good stuff. So, yeah, let's get into this one. Over the past weekend, I decided to do something strange, which is watched the Misfits show on the Zone. And for me, I thought it was quite entertaining overall, and I kind of saw the appeal of it. It's not really a thing that's for me, but I think watching that show kind of showed me why and how it appeals to people. I mean, you had Joey Essex against that whatever his name was, Jumea or Imaya, or the Portuguese social media star, or whatever he is, a TV star. And that was a slugfest. Both of them didn't really know what they were doing. There was no technique. I mean, Joey Essex was like turning his head away from the punches, and it was just a swingers. They were both just swinging for the fences, no technique, and not a couple of, I think it was one knockdown. And yeah, it was a bit of a crazy night with the Misfits. And the big talking point of the show was Darren Till. And Darren Till, he beat a guy, Luke Rockhold, who was very good in the UFC years ago. But obviously, Rockhold, 39 years old, whereas Darren Till is 32 years old. So still physically around his peak years, still, firing on all cylinders. And lately, he's been sort of doing his thing on the Misfits. He's been running through people, knocking people out. And obviously, prior to this Misfits event, I believe Carl Froch, a couple of months ago, made some comments about Misfits and, about Darren Till and other guys. And, just saying that, look, even at his age, he'd be able to sort of run through these guys. These guys are kind of not on his level, and even in his advanced age and after his retirement, he could deal with these guys. They're just kind of useless. And so Darren Till took those comments personally, and when Darren Till knocked out Luke Rockhold, he stormed over, to the side of the ring and, grabbed the DAZN microphone as they interviewed him after he knocked this guy out. And he was calling Carl Froch all sorts of names and saying he's scared, he's an S house, and this, that, and the other. And, telling Carl Froch to come in the ring and come and have a fight and sign the fight. And, you've been saying all this and that about how you can beat MMA fighters. Come in the ring, come and fight me. Let's sign this fight. Let's do this. Rear. And, that was basically it, the call out. And it went further. And he even sort of came out of the ring, jumped out of the ring, and tried to get to Carl Froch, who was ringside. I think with Sauerland and KSI and some others ringside. And Carl Froch was just sort of being calm, eating an apple, and sort of trying to play the whole thing off, not really saying much. And Till was really aggressive, trying to get at him, and Froch was just sort of being cool, just eating his apple. And then I think Carl Froch, after this little melee, he left the arena. And a lot of people have been seeing YouTube comments saying, Carl Froch bricked it, he's scared and this, that, and the third. But I mean, for me, thinking about it now, and obviously Carl, he's done some interviews after the fight. I think on the same day or the following day, he done an interview talking about things on his YouTube channel. And the people have been questioning him, saying, "Well, can you beat him? Can you beat this MMA guy?" And then Froch was alluding to being retired for 11 years and saying, "Well, is it really big enough? And I'm quite comfortable now. I'm sort of retired now, and everything." And but at the same time, he was also reiterating his points that he had made in previous videos, that basically he, even after this time, it's a mismatch between him and Darren Till. Darren Till is only decent for his level that he's been boxing at, which is just sort of very low level, nothing nothing special, nothing, to write home about, just very low novice level boxing. And he just believes, Froch was saying that he believes that basically because of the heights he's been to in boxing, even after 11 years, he could still step in and deal with a guy like Till. He was saying it's a mismatch. Now, for me personally, I think he, it's I think it's kind of 50-50 in a sense. I think because I can see where he's coming from, that it's a mismatch, but at the same time, after 11 years of inactivity, and he's near, 48 years old now, I think at that sort of age, probably it would be a dangerous proposition to take on anyone really, because you probably, I would imagine, as much as he had a great chin when he was fighting, as a near 50-year-old man, your punch resistance is going to be, I would imagine it's going to be gone. So the shots that he was taking during his career, I don't know, I wouldn't be confident that he could just go in a ring now and just take those shots again with smaller gloves and all of this. And I think it's one of those things that, yeah, in theory, maybe he could. Maybe he's right that he could beat this guy, he could knock this guy out. But at the same time, I think there would be a question mark over the whole thing, because he's obviously a lot older than when he was boxing. And this guy, okay, he's not of any high level in boxing, but what equalizes that is that you're 11 years removed from your career, and you haven't been taking any punches for all that 11 years, and you haven't really been doing proper training as far as boxing training, preparing for fights over all these years. So I think, as much as, yeah, in his career, if this was like when he was about, let's say, 40 or 39, or when he was a couple of years removed from his actual career, at that point in time I'd be very confident Carl Froch would destroy this guy. But I think after all this time, there's definitely a question mark over it for me. I wouldn't be 100% confident in Carl Froch to deal with this guy, simply because of the time lapse that there's been. And I wouldn't be certain or confident that he's just going to be able to go in there and wipe someone out and take punches, because I think, it's just been so long, and I wouldn't be that confident. I don't think it's not something I would advise Froch to do. I don't think he needs the money. I don't think he needs to do it. I don't think he really needs to prove anything to anybody. I think if he does it, I mean, I would watch it, I would tune in, but I just think it would be a dangerous move at this age, and we don't know what would happen, just simply because of the passage of time. But that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Until next time, MKO over and out.